This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster, Clayton John, Chris Adamek, Maeve Dartinez, and Pierre Delecto. Now, on to the show.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing conversation amongst three lifelong wackos that may contain adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, my friends, to the Son of Reds. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Picco.
I'm Truman, and this is episode 406. Drove all the way for this?
Seriously. We said it on our little Patreon special, but Jesus Christ, the amount of driving we did for return on investment was terrible.
Oh, my God. Combined driving hours to and from for the two of us.
I got
I
think it was 5.5 total. Round trip.
Oh, I destroyed you on that. I probably have like 10 plus.
I was thinking it was closer to 12.
Let's see, I left at 8:15. I got into Massachusetts at 12:45. That was just one way. That was the way back. Sat on the GW Bridge for a half hour. So, with nothing good to think about, just being miserable the whole drive back and then just sitting in traffic. Grumbling.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Red Bulls lost 1-0 at home on Luis Robles night. Before we talk about that, let's get into our tweets and voicemail. Let's read the tweets first. Do you have those ready to go? Or
Yep, I'm going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Steven Santos said, shit loss, shit team, got thrown out of your section by some Red Bull lady named Christy at the 40th minute, and also there was no security to make sure our section wasn't overflowed with people that didn't buy one-on-one tickets in the beginning or before the start of the game. It did seem overfilled, right?
But it was weird because I went in between 101 and 133, and I had to show my ticket before the game and at halftime.
The other side, we just walked in before the game started.
Well, that's why. Yeah.
Brendan XD at Brendan XD said, it's the fact that it was on Robles night that makes me sad. Tonino, he obviously had some time to think because he did posted a GIF saying he didn't want to talk about it, but he did say, how is this team so high in the standings? The cross is in or over the 18-yard box. The lack of finishing, ugh. Our friend Anthony, it's funny, actually, a bunch of our tweets were the people we hung out with, which I definitely appreciate it. We'll get to that too. Anthony said, I don't know what's worse, the lack of discipline leading to fouls, the lack of a striker, in parentheses, sign Lingard, or that Pat paid for water and never received it. Damn those kiosk orders. And then finally, Pierre Delecto, he says, I have a lot of yelling to do. So, Jay, take it away.
All right. Here is the voicemail from our, I guess, semi-regular guest at this point, Pierre Delecto.
Hey, guys. How are you? Before I lose my goddamn mind, I'd just like to say to you, Pat, Truman, and Jay, I had a real great time with you guys.
Oh, that was weird. I did not intentionally stop that voicemail.
The end. That was it. That was the whole. Oh, what a voicemail that was. That was perfect.
Right. Let's see if this works the second time.
Hey, guys. How are you? Before I lose my goddamn mind, I'd just like to say to you, Pat, Truman, and Jay, I had a real great time with you guys, and I'm really glad that.
Okay, apparently the email or the voicemail's corrupted.
But that's all we needed to hear.
This is what we get for checking it. Literally, actually didn't even check it. I just downloaded it right before.
Hold on? Can you read? You had the translate. Can you read that? Can you pull that up?
I can. Give me 1 second. I might be able to actually do this a different way. Yeah.
Pause. Well, quote unquote pause. Right. You're gonna pause and you're gonna read it immediately.
Well, no. I'm gonna try one more way of playing this.
Oh. And then I don't want to get complimented a third time.
Oh no, we get complimented over and over again. How dare this happen?
Yeah, because we're too bitter for that and poorly informed.
and we're truly professionals here, so.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how are you? Before I lose my goddamn mind, I'd just like to say to you, Pat, Truman, and Jay, I had a real great time with you guys, and I'm really glad that you guys.
Done.
You guys are a really great show. And if there's any time you guys come back together, or even one of you, just let me know, and I will absolutely bring some stuff so we can do some more things. Again, I'm really glad to meet you guys, but to the game. Holy fucking shit was that game. Oh my god. And I'm sorry, I know this is going to be as most unhinged as I possibly can, this game, but it was a slogfest and very much defensive game this entire time, I understand. And the defense played very well, as hard as they absolutely could, until, of course, I think it was Castellanos who scored that goal, which is infuriating. Is so fucking right. But, God, how the fuck do you substitute Tom Barlow for Luquinhas? And yes, I understand they shut down Luquinhas in a good amount of it. But again, and maybe this is finally time that I realizing the shit on the wall with Patrick Lamala, but also realizing that he was picked over Tom Barlow when they were already under. They were already under when they went for him, and Patrick Lamala was an afterthought sub. So it's like ridiculous. The shit is on the wall for him, and that's their designated player striker. And I understand the Struber system in its own right very much works to have the midfielders be the real goal scorers as the forwards get up to it and make the work. But if they're not fucking doing it, what's the fucking point? It was a slugfest that entire game, and it was and I understand. Again, I fucking hate DC more than I hate City, yeah. But City at home, with that entire stadium almost packed and being in that area, it was special. It was real fucking special, and that shit fucking hurt. It's frustrating, and and again, maybe in any other year would it be this bad? And I understand they're 2-3 in the East whenever that game started. But that was just such a fucking awful end. All right, I'm about to go over 3 minutes. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll complain somewhere else.
He recorded that literally, minutes after the game ended?
So according to... No, it's not minutes. According to our voicemail, it was 8:05, so it would have been about an hour later.
All right, so still.
I'm pretty sure he was in the stadium.
We hadn't left the parking lot yet, so...
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he was in the stadium for Robles and was like, you know what? I'm going to walk to my car and I got to vent anyway, so let me call the guys and do this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack with this game.
Well, I mean, he nails it right there, too, because we talked about it before the game, was that you had the sellout crowd, you had the Robles night, you had everything going for you, and what the Red Bulls love to do is they love to shit the bed in big games, and they did it again. Shit the bed. I know it's mid-season, but still. Big game, national TV, at home, packed house, fired up.
All right. Let's get into this with our dislikes. So, you know what? Fuck it. Instead of calling likes and dislikes, let's just vent for however long, and then we'll maybe mention something positive. So, Truman, you go first. Just general thoughts about the game.
So my general thought on my dislike is actually my friend Scott Six on Twitter summed it up perfectly. Me and him tweeting back and forth, and this sums up this team perfectly. I'm going to read it to you. He says the problem isn't the game plan, because I was bitching, of course, was the game plan because they didn't start with a true forward, which was completely insane. But he says the problem isn't the game plan. The problem is same as it's been since 2015. If the first game plan doesn't work, there's literally nothing. We pressed the shit out of them for the first 10 minutes. Then it was, God, I hope they don't score for 80, and they did, so we lost. And that is just an absolutely perfect way to sum up a Red Bulls loss. And that's pretty much how they lose every time, that they have absolutely no backup plan at all when the press doesn't work. None.
Yep, because you can't beat a team with a high press if they're bunkering and then just hitting long balls for a counterattack. I mean, that goal was literally a counterattack goal.
Yeah.
That caught our defense out of position, and we paid for it. And something I didn't pick up on until I think almost it was like late in the first half, and I guess I didn't realize how bad this had gotten until I saw something on Twitter. Somebody showed like some passing map for the last 3 games. Apparently, formations mean fuck all for this team now. Like, I know Aaron Long gets up there playing forward every once in a while. I just figured, it was just, Struber supporting Aaron Long. No, apparently the game plan is we're going to line up in a specific way, but once the whistle blows, do whatever the fuck you want. as long as you press, and you press every single minute. But, I mean, there was one point I saw Tom Edwards on the wing opposite side of the field. He was literally in Tolkien's space. I think trying to play the ball in the box or whatever, but like if you want to have a press, and I understand shapes are fluid in soccer, but holy fuck, have some sort of shape. I mean, when a lot of most of those chances, at least in the second half, right, we're behind Cornell. Most of the chances in the second half I saw that were being stopped was not because of the defense. It was because of guys like Frankie Amaya, who are midfielders that are covering, because the rest of the defensive line is at least like 10 yards away from him upfield.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I get it. The whole point is that we allow those guys up to press, but you got to be able to cover the fucking counterattack. Long is perfect at dropping back and chasing somebody down. Why the hell isn't he being told to stay back? Right? And don't get me wrong, him scoring goals would be great. But if we're not fucking scoring goals, don't put him that far up the field.
One of my big problems, too, again, with lineups is that I feel like the Red Bulls love to play a lineup that goes against the other team. Not, hey, let's put out our best team and they have to match up against us. Because, again, I'll never understand not playing with a forward. I understand not playing with Tom Barlow. He's terrible. And I know we can shit on Patrick Klimala, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes of why he's not starting, but I'm still going to hold by that he is not the biggest problem with this team. That he's not the reason that they don't win games like that. He just I don't know. He's not. Maybe he's just not on the right team. Maybe it's not a right fit for him. Maybe the high press isn't the team he should be on. And I think that's a huge issue when you're coming out with no true forwards. I don't know. It understands. Now, they looked great in 10 minutes. High pressing and fast and all over the field. But again, like Scott said, once it doesn't work, it's over. Where's your quality striker to steal a game or steal a goal here and there? Then that doesn't exist.
Yeah, Kamala is, I think, systematic, or just a symptom of the bigger issue, which is that we have no fucking clue in what we're doing in talent acquisition. Apparently,
we lucked out. We just don't do in forwards.
I feel like we lucked out with him to a degree. But I mean, it's before the game. You and I both looked at the lineup. We're like, "What the fuck? We don't have a starting forward, especially one who's a designated player." in the biggest game I think up until this point was arguably the biggest game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
At least in MLS, right? Not throwing U.S. Open Cup in there, which I have feelings about how that's going to play out in next week, but we'll get there eventually. But then I just double checked. Kamala wasn't the first forward off the bench.
No, it was not. Tom Barlow was.
He wasn't the second off the bench.
Also correct.
He was the third forward off the bench.
Yep.
So if you're designated player, assuming game plan wise, you don't start a forward for a reason. If your designated player is not the first off the bench, then you fucking get rid of him and you get someone that fits what you want on the team.
With a week off, by the way, they weren't playing on short rest either.
Yeah, exactly. And New York City was.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure they played in Austin too, right?
Yep.
So they're playing they come from a mid-game week in Texas, which means easily 3+ hours flight back. Plus they were playing in fucking Texas because Texas is hot as balls. And their game plan worked, which was we're going to sit back, absorb this pressure, and eventually get a goal. And guess what? It worked. Because it works. Every single fucking team that does that is able to pull it off against us.
Yep. When you get to halftime scoreless, you just expect doom. You expect doom when you see the plan not working and it goes to the 45th minute. And Sean Johnson, in the last 7-8 minutes of that first half, had no problem just having the ball at his foot, no one pressuring him to pass the ball. He just stood there, looked around. They loved getting that game to halftime scoreless. They loved it.
Oh, yeah. And for me, I think one of the worst parts of that first half was literally the best chance we had was, I can't remember if it was Aquinas or Morgan who took a shot. Johnson had to make a diving save, and it falls to, I believe, was Sean Nealis. And he skies it over the net. And listen, he's not a forward. He's not a midfielder. I would not expect a defender on a regular basis to hit a half volley into the back of the net. But dear God, that was such a fucking open opportunity. It doesn't matter who was there. That ball should have been in the net, given everything that happened in the half up to that point. And that would have completely set the Red Bulls up for success in the second half, because then New York City would have had to start playing with possession and trying to create their own chance.
Right, yep.
But we've said it before, and you just mentioned it, there's no plan B.
None.
Actually, I'm sorry. There is a plan B. It's to repeat plan A with bang your head into the wall as much as possible until you hope something breaks. Just generally, it's you instead of the other team.
And then with 5 to 10 minutes left, just throw up the ball as far as possible and hope something happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Bitter rant over.
So this is me being bitter. And listen, I'm not blaming the referee for the loss. This loss is completely on the Red Bulls' inability to score. However, and this is not strictly about Chris Penso, this is about the league as a whole. Can we please, and I've said it before, just get some fucking consistency in how things are called?
No.
I know the Red Bulls play aggressive, which means they're going to get called for more fouls. It was, at one point, 8 fouls by the Red Bulls, 1 by New York City. Honestly, I didn't think that made sense. But for me, the bigger thing, 2 different times a New York City player was on the ground, a physio came out to treat the player, and the player was not told to get off the field.
Mm-hmm.
That is a rule in any league in the world. If a player requires treatment on the field, they must vacate until they are allowed back on by the referee. And one of those times was a very good free kick placement.
So you allowed New York City 2 advantages in not having to have players off the field even for a second. Then, last week, John Tolkien gets a yellow card for taunting the fans while standing inside the penalty box after a goal is scored. Right. The reason he probably got the yellow was because he got pushed because he was taunting. Who was it? Castellanos, whoever the fuck scored, I can't remember his name. Ran towards the South Ward, taunting the fans. Now, here's the thing. I really don't have a problem with either of those actions. I would be perfectly fine if neither of those are yellow cards.
Yep.
But if Tolkien is a yellow when he's not running towards the fans, then Castellanos has to absolutely be a yellow. Because it's the same action, taunting the fans. So my problem is the fact that those two were not treated the same. Right? Both of those were taunting fans when you are the away team. Same exact action. The only difference is Tolkien did it in the box where he evoked a reaction from a Cincinnati player. The Red Bulls did not react to Castellanos doing that. That was the only real difference, but for some reason we get the yellow card for it.
Well, the fans certainly reacted. So.
Well, that's a whole other issue. I'm getting there next. But just from what the players did, you have to be consistent. If you're going to say what Tolkien did is worth a yellow, and again, I don't agree with it, but if you're going to tell me that's a yellow, then what happened on Sunday by Castellanos is a yellow. If that's how you're going to call it. I am perfectly fine saying neither of those are yellows, but that just means that Tolkien should not have gotten one. And you mentioned the fans. We have called out our fans before for asshole-less behavior, and guess what? We had some assholes in the crowd on Sunday. You should never throw shit at players, right? All the ticket really allows you to do is be at a game and voice your support or anger, and even that has limits to me. There's areas you shouldn't go with that. You should absolutely never throw beer, throw a bottle or whatever it was that we saw in the second half. Right, those actions, I really hope, and I'm sure after the goal people weren't taken out of the stands, but I'm really hoping after that bottle, whatever it was, got thrown later in the second half. I really hope somebody got caught by security and got escorted out of the stadium for that.
Like the one there was a corner kick taken. That one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. There's no need for that.
No. I tweeted it out. Be better.
Yep, I'm with you. But I will say this: when an NYC FC guy taunts the fans, what do you think was going to happen?
Oh, I know.
You know. So, but I mean, I'm with you. I don't encourage that shit either. But maybe just not do that.
I mean, if you wanted to run in the penalty box and do it, okay, all right, you scored, get to celebrate a little bit, fine.
Right.
But running right next to the ad board and taunting the fans, people are emotional in soccer games. They're gonna react, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm saying that's what happened. Thankfully, it was only beer, and nobody, I don't think, threw anything at that point. But later for that corner kick, somebody threw a bottle or something. And that's what really pissed me off in terms of the fans.
All right. Is there anything positive you want to talk about?
You can go first. I'm not sure. I got to think at the moment.
Carlos Coronel had a great game, as always. He had a great game. He made a great save. He was not responsible for giving up that goal. It's nothing to do. So I'm going to say that. And then I'm going to just say tailgate was awesome. Quote unquote Pierre Delecto was there. Do we ever said what his shoot name is, brother?
I don't know.
Said it on their show. He's going to tell us if we can say it or not. I know we all know what it is. But anyway, he was there, and our good friend Steven Santos was there, and Anthony was there with his wife, and We had a great time, and the belt was there, and Steven and Pierre took pictures with the belts.
They're up on Twitter.
Yeah, they're on our Twitter page, so that was awesome. Thank you. Shout out to Anthony for bringing a grill top, because it's in the yard or something. It's accidentally.
He
So
he said bottom of the stairs.
yeah. So there you go. So we did get to tailgate. So overall, I mean, game aside, we had a fun time.
And the weather held out.
Weather was great. Yeah, no problems there. Getting out was stupid. But I will tell you this, Jay. When I left to go to my car, I got in my car and I was out of that parking lot in 5 seconds. Boom.
Oh, yes.
Out,
Same with
gone.
me.
And then I sat in traffic just to get to the Wawa in Kearney. So there was that.
Well, you went to Wawa. It could be a hot.
It was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah, I didn't mind.
Yeah, for me getting out of the parking lot, I mean, we waited. So I think we got back to the cars around roughly 7:30ish. We waited about half an hour for the line of cars to leave. And when I got out, I'm pretty sure I was out of that parking lot in a few seconds.
Yep.
The worst I had to do was waited some lights to get to Newark. But aside from that, once I got on the turnpike, it was good. I think I shaved like 11 minutes off my drive on the way home. So.
Yeah, you went the right way to go home. I did not. So I wish I'd have known. I would have crept up to the Tappan Zee and gone over there, or the Cuomo Bridge now, and gone over that, and not sat on the GW Bridge for a half hour. That sucked. And then to have 4 hours of sleep to go to a work training at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a great time. See, coming home through Delaware generally sucks because I don't know how many people have driven over. I guess it's 295 technically, the Delaware Memorial Bridge, going into Delaware, and then it splits to 95. But that generally sucks. At 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, oh boy, I was through that section within 2 minutes and was so happy. A normal Sunday coming back from like a holiday or something, that takes at least 10, 15 minutes, but nope.
Oh, yeah.
The positive thing for me, I guess, would just be the fact that I got back to Red Bull Arena for the first time in 3 years. Got, like you said, got to hang out with you, Pat, Pierre, Taxi. Got to just kind of get away from things for a day, and I sent out a tweet at the beginning of the game saying I missed this, and I really did. I missed being in the stadium. COVID aside, Truman and I both have long drives to get there. So to finally make it back for a game, it was nice.
Yep. Yeah, that it was. And I mean, last year when I went to the one game, it got canceled because of rain and thunder. So,
well, at least
I actually got to see a game. Yeah, I saw a game happen, so that was good too.
All right. Any other thoughts on this game?
No, please let's move on.
Okay. Prediction stand. Oh wait, hold on. I got to talk about this. So prediction standings. Truman and I did not get anything right because we both predicted wins. Pat, however, predicted a loss. So yesterday I realized the reason for the loss, and it's Pat, because he's been pulling these reverse jinx predictions out, and generally they've been okay. But 7-0.
Is that what it was? He went too far?
He went too far. And you can check our little Facebook chat. He even said he jinxed the reverse jinx. So blame Pat, everybody, for the loss. We're going too far in the reverse jinx method.
Yep, just went way over the line. Way over the line.
He at least got a point out of it, though, so I guess it's just silver lining for him. All right. The Red Bulls' next match is this Sunday, July 24th, 8 p.m. They will be traveling down to Texas to take on Austin FC. That game is on MSG and ESPN+. Austin, in their second year in the league, has a record of 12-4-5, plus 18 goal difference. 41 points, which is good for number 2 in the West and one behind league-leading LAFC. Who would have thought that for their second year?
Felipe power.
Pat has already given his prediction. He is still going with the reverse jinxes. Thankfully, he toned it back again. 2-0 loss down in Texas for Pat. So, Truman, you're up. What do you think is going to happen on Sunday?
I'm going to be different. I'm saying we're going to lose 3-1. I think this team's in fucking huge trouble because Austin's playing really well. And I know they didn't like losing at home to NYC FC, so I'm sure they're still pretty salty about that. And it's going to be hot, and this team's going to have to play in the heat again. And if that press don't work again for the first 10 minutes, they are up shit's creek in that game. And I mean, the Red Bulls are what they are. They're going to be a middle of the pack playoff team, but they're playing against a really good team this year in Austin. And I don't know, unless Felipe turns heel on Austin in the middle of the game and hits the ball with the face into his own net, I just don't see us winning this one.
We need Felipe to try to pull an Henry at Arsenal.
Yeah,
to switch jerseys at halftime.
That's right. That's the only chance we got.
I am also going to go with a loss. I just don't see it winning, and the bigger reason is because of the Open Cup matches coming up midweek, which I realized I forgot to write into the agenda, so I need to look up when that is exactly. So I think I'm going to go the 2-1 loss just to be different on the score line. But so here's where I'm going with my line of thinking. Our Open Cup game is on Wednesday, the 27th at 7:30 p.m. in Orlando. I am pretty sure Struber is going to sacrifice the Austin game to win in the Open Cup, which means he probably doesn't start Morgan, probably doesn't start Luquinhas, probably doesn't start Long. I'm not sure about Cornell because Mayer has been kind of the Open Cup keeper recently, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But, I could see maybe Amaya getting a little bit of a break.
Well, they don't have that deep of a bench, so some of these guys are going to have to play this game.
Yeah, but this might be the hybrid New York 2 match that gets rolled out. Kamala may start because apparently he's not the best forward we have anymore. So
yeah, nobody is. The best forward we have on our team is no one.
So I think Struber's going to basically allow the Austin match to be a loss to hope for a bigger result in the Open Cup. Hopefully it doesn't backfire, but that's how I feel like it's going to go. And then the Open Cup is, like I said, it's going to be Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. at Orlando City. That game will be broadcast on ESPN Plus. If we were to win, we will host the Open Cup victory if Sacramento Republic wins their game against Sporting Kansas City. If Sporting KC wins and we win, then we will have to go out to Kansas City for a rematch of the 2017 Open Cup final. That coincidentally I was at. Just, it's an away game.
There you go. There's your new camera from now on.
For those who can't see this because it's an audio podcast, Truman is now starring his cat.
That's right. He is now the star of the show. I should just put the headset on him. See what he has to say.
I would let my cat into the room I record in, but he is pretty loud. Truman's cat is not. He is quiet.
No, he's hanging out.
All right. Any other thoughts about the Austin game?
It's going to suck.
Yeah, what else is new?
But if you're going, you should definitely go to the the Congress Street Bridge, I think, and you can watch the bats come out at night at sunset. It's really cool. So that's something to do. It's better than watching them lose.
I was going to say, it's probably more interesting.
Yeah.
All right. New York Red Bulls 2 surprisingly won a match.
Whoa.
1-0 at home against Indy 11. That makes their record 2-3-14. Good for 9 points.
Good
a minus 29 goal difference. And I'm pretty sure dead last in the East. I didn't even bother checking that stat. The next match is at Monterey Bay on July 23rd, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Gotham FC, however, did not have any good luck this week. They lost 5-0 at the Portland Thorns. That makes the record 4-0-6, 12 points, minus 11 goal difference. Number 9 in NWSL. They have off this week, so their next match is on Sunday, July 31st, 5 p.m. versus the Houston Dash. All right. With that, it is time for the dumping ground.
I'm the trash man.
All right. I thought I was going to something to write down. I forgot, and I can't think of what I was originally thinking of a while ago. Truman, you have anything for the dumping ground?
Am I on a show again?
Uh-oh. We had our tech problems.
I like that. I think you just kept going, right? And you didn't even kind of notice that I completely dropped off.
There's no reason for you to talk, so it kind of worked out.
Perfect. Perfect.
So
now I just don't have any screen, but let's see if I can. Hold on, I'm going to click on this and see what happens. You ready? Here we go. Oh, my big face is back. Good.
Phenomena.
If anybody does not recognize that, it's because it's been a long time since we played it. That's our tech problems music.
And what problems they were.
Yeah. All right, so dumping ground, Sherman, do you have anything you want to talk about?
No. Formula One, we are in France this weekend. So that's all I got.
I don't think we talked about this last week. The U.S. women's team officially qualified for the I want to say it was the World Cup last week, and then they qualified for the Olympics this week by winning the CONCACAF Women's Championship. I'm pretty sure they did both of those. So good news. They're back in both tournaments. Hopefully history will repeat itself and they'll win the World Cup after losing the Olympics. All right. Pat's not here. I'm not taking over it this week, so that means we're on to the last segment of the show. Truman's terrible team of the week.
That's terrible.
Nothing crazy this week, but I will say that Charlotte had a 2-0 lead against Miami on the road and blew it and gave up 3 goals in a row, including the last goal, which I think was scored in the 3rd minute of stoppage time right at the end of the game. So, sorry, Charlotte, you're not as cool as you thought you were.
Well, they're an expansion side that's not winning the wooden spoon, so they're already better off than the hell, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Already off to a better track record. All right. Anything else before we wrap this one up?
Nope.
Okay. Patreon.com/Rebel Rant. $1 a month is all you need for exclusive content, such as live post games, like we did technically do after the New York City match. Monthly wrap-ups. Anything else we had to do, like our Stranger Things 4 episode, which is still up there for patrons to listen to. You can email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. If you want to call us, 973-348-5329. The voicemail limit is technically 3 minutes, but I'm suggesting not everybody puts 2+ minutes worth of effort into a voicemail. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter, @Red Bull Rant for the show, @Dr. Stooch for myself, @The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
Next week, I promise we will be more bitter, more sad, and more poorly informed when they lose that game. But I'm going to try to stay positive because I do like the city of Austin, and I'm hoping New York goes down there and somehow gets past Felipe's amazing skills and wins.
I can guarantee you we're going to be at least 20% more bitter because of the Open Cup. So, because maybe Pat will be back.
Yes.
All right. For Truman and myself, this has been episode 406 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, go Red Bulls.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.